Don't believe all the hype. All of a sudden you see somebody's personal stuff and it's like, what's going on here? Did we find this happening just one time? No, multiple dealers. We have discovered this. Why? Are you planning to buy an RV? Well, watch or listen to this first. This is 14 RV buying mistakes made by both new and experienced RV buyers. You want to avoid these, and number 9 is huge. I'm Tom with EnjoyTheJourney.Life, and this is episode 2. Where am I? Well, it's a busy Monday. I'm at the 2022 Florida RV SUPERSHOW in Tampa. And right back there is the huge Lippert booth. They're getting it all set up. The booth back here by Lippert is the place to be if you're going to be here at the show. They've got scavenger hunts every single day of the entire show. Actually, if you'd like to know our entire schedule, check out episode 1 where you get a chance to say hi to us. And if you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button here on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Last week, I was in Walmart and met Jose and Esther. They just sold their house and they're still shopping for a trucker RV because they're gonna go full-time RV living. Congratulations. And they had so many questions. And I said, are you guys going to this show? And they weren't even aware of this show. So I hope you guys are coming here because there is so many cool things going on here. But whether you can make it to this show or any other RV shows, or you're just going to a dealer or buying a used RV from a private seller, these 14 mistakes you're gonna wanna know about. And let's get into it. And the first mistake is not joining the Facebook groups of current owners of the RV brand or models you are interested in. Also not doing the research on reviews, especially common problems, repairs that are needed for that particular RV brand or model. First, before you do anything else, is research, research, research. Check out the reviews of the specific RV you want to buy. Again, join the Facebook groups for that brand and see what the current owners like and don't like about their RV. Try to get answers on the exact make, model, and year, as the RV manufacturers do update models from year to year. Ask a lot of questions. I'm so embarrassed to admit this, but I never checked out the reviews on my very first RV before buying it. And I wrote a book about online reviews. We were so caught up in picking out the RV that we liked the most that we skipped checking reviews. This was definitely an RV newbie mistake. That being said, all RVs have issues. So if you find you like an RV, maybe 80 or 90% of the way, it's a floor plan you want, you know, go ahead and get that RV, but also get a great extended warranty, but more on that later. The second RV buying mistake is choosing the wrong RV dealer to buy from. Check the RV dealer's online reviews, especially around service. Are they happy to honor warranty work? How long of a wait is it to get that warranty work? This is huge. I mean, they might have a great reputation, but if they're so backed up they can't get you in for months and you can't enjoy your RV, that's not going to be great either. RV service is more often bad than good. I'm sorry to say that. If you walk into an RV dealer's lot and you can access an RV that is in for service, do not buy from that dealer. Yes, Shri and I have actually done this. We were looking for our next RV, walk onto a dealer's lot, and there's all these RVs, the doors are open, you walk in there, and all of a sudden you see somebody's personal stuff. And it's like, what's going on here? These were RVs that were in for service. Did we find this happening just one time? No, multiple dealers. We have discovered this. Why? I just think it's carelessness, total carelessness, and it's a huge deal. When I bring my RV in for service, I expect that dealer to leave it locked up and keep it in an area that is not available for viewing from people looking to buy an RV. So don't walk, run away from that RV dealer. Not only should your RV be locked when it's in for service, it should clearly be parked in an area that is not open for RV buyers to tour. Consider going with a family-owned dealership for better service. And sometimes these places have the best deals. Also a dealer that isn't going to add a lot of extra fees or pressure you to buy the extras that are not necessary, but more on that later. The third RV buying mistake is not getting the right extended warranty. And the best warranty is not necessarily from your dealer. Your dealer may have given you a great deal on your RV only to hope to sell you higher commissioned extras after you've already agreed on the initial price. But we're going to have more on that later. Not all extended warranties are created equal. Oh, and that bright, shiny extended warranty from your RV dealer may not cover everything you think it will. Actually, with my first RV, I purchased the most deluxe extended warranty that the dealer offered. I thought everything was going to be covered if there was any problems, but in reality, many of the repair bills were only covered by 50%, if they were even covered at all. For example, the underbelly falling off during a road trip, not covered at all. Diagnosing my microwave, which had stopped working, that was not covered. So be sure to read the fine print and understand what you are buying with an extended warranty. Still, in the end, this warranty ended up saving me money. I had far more claims covered than what I spent on that policy. I just had a lot more repairs on our previous RV. Now, our Grand Design Momentum is a different story though. We have had really great luck. Up until recently, we've had quite a few service calls and our microwave just died in this RV as well. I'm really thankful we just started working with wholesale warranties, and I'm so glad we did. We ended up getting the Viking plan, and with that, our microwave, the diagnosing part, is actually covered with that protection plan. Plus, we had our very first tire blowout on our Grand Design Momentum, and with wholesale warranties, they will actually pay to put a brand new tire on there, include the cost of the tire and the work to put it on there. 100% covered, no deductible. That's really cool. If you'd like to check out wholesale warranties, you can do so with our link down in the description. Buying mistake number 4, size matters. Buying too small of an RV or not getting an RV with enough storage space or big enough for everything is also a mistake. We made that mistake with our current RV. We love our Grand Design Momentum for the most part, but it doesn't have much storage space underneath. So we've been struggling with that. Finding the right size RV takes a lot of consideration. Ask those questions. Are you going to be full-time or part-time? How many of you will be traveling together? Will you have pets with you? Will you spend a lot of time in the RV or outside? Will you be mostly boondocking or dry camping, or will you be in RV parks and campgrounds? How large are the holding tanks? Both gray, black, and fresh water. Like on our Grand Design Momentum, we have a huge fresh water tank, over 150 gallons, which makes it awesome for boondocking. And buying mistake number 5, on the flip side of the last one, is buying too large of an RV. This could either be too large for you to comfortably drive and feel safe on the road, or too large for your tow vehicle. Yep, I made that mistake. I purchased the wrong truck before my first RV because the dealer just said, oh yeah, that truck will pull anything. No, it wouldn't. It was a 3/4 ton gas GMC truck, and I buy a 40-foot fifth wheel. No, and I nearly destroyed that truck. It was also not safe to be driving that around. Not the thing to be doing, so don't make that mistake. And you might think that the dealer should have said, hey, that's the wrong truck for this RV, but they are not obligated legally to tell you that. Many dealers just want the sale. Plus, keep in mind that very large RVs have more limited camping sites that they can get into. For example, with our huge 43-foot Grand Design Momentum, we can't get into 30 or 40% of the campsites out there, including boondocking sites. We have to be very selective in what we reserve to go camping in. And this is just an issue with a smaller RV, say 20, 25 feet, that you almost never have to worry about. So keep that in mind when picking out the size of your RV. The advice that I hear a lot and I often share with you guys is buy the smallest RV that you can comfortably live in and that meets your traveling needs. This is one for Jose and Esther. Make sure you get the right tow vehicle for your fifth wheel, which is what you mentioned that you were looking for. And yeah, don't buy too small of a truck. Buy too big of a truck, which is kind of what we did. You want to have that extra tow capacity in case you eventually upgrade your RV. And I'm not the only one that made this mistake before. You see on the road all the time people pulling massive RVs with vehicles or trucks that are too small. Again, it's not just the wrong truck, it's dangerous and could cause an accident, could hurt you or other people, so don't do it. Number 6, not taking a test drive or learning how to drive a big RV or how to tow a trailer. We recommend renting an RV first, mostly to decide if you really like RVing and camping in the first place, but also to get a feel for driving or towing that large of a vehicle. A dealer like Lazy Days actually offer classes on how to drive an RV, and I would recommend that as well. And speaking from my own experience, driving my huge truck and huge RV all of the time, it's stressful. And I almost never want to drive, well, I actually don't ever want to drive at night, but coming in here last night to the RV show, there was an accident, a detour. Here I am driving down small streets in the middle of Tampa. It's nighttime and it's not fun. So again, a big consideration when picking out an RV. So there are many times I'm like, gosh, a smaller RV would be so less stressful. So, but we do like all of the room that it has, so that's the benefit as well. And mistake number 7 is not negotiating. Even now, that show special price, that is the starting point for the negotiation process. Now, I know there's inflation right now and the prices have been going up, but don't believe all the hype about it. The RVs are hard to come by. Yes, a lot of people are in the market for RVs, but they are also building them faster than ever right now as well. And avoid getting too excited about buying the very first one that you see or with the very first dealer that you go and talk to. Always be ready to walk out the door. Here's a tip: pick out the RV dealers that you like and get them to compete with themselves to see which one will offer you the best price on the RV model that you want. You should be able to get at least 20 to 30% off the sticker price. Don't think your local dealer can compete with the big boys. Think again and ask. My local Minnesota dealer beat the price of a so-called RV wholesaler that was located right next to the factory in Indiana, and that also included the shipping fee to take that RV all the way to Minnesota. So again, maybe find about a half a dozen different dealers with the model that you want and then have them compete for your business. Here's another tip. Come to a big RV show like this one and find the RV that you want. Then shop that price around with your local dealer and maybe a few national ones as well with a good reputation. You will likely be ordering your new RV to be built for you anyway, so no matter who you get it from, you're going to get it about the same time anyway. You might be surprised that your best deal won't be negotiated at a big show like this. But these are still a great place to look at a lot of RVs at the same time and do a lot of comparisons. So still come out to the Tampa show. We want to see you out here. And here's another tip. A used RV could be a good option with depreciation being so huge on RVs. You know, buying a used one could save you a lot of money. Like a well taken care of used RV could be a great option and possibly have less issues going forward. If the current owners have already paid to fix any of the shakedown issues that they might have found out. And we did this with our Grand Design Momentum. We have been very happy with the results. We've got a 2019 Grand Design Momentum 381M, and it only had a few thousand miles on it when we bought it, so it was basically new, but the owner had already had several things taken care of. Now, Sheree and I have also had a number of issues with that, but we have a solution for that, which we just mentioned again is a great extended warranty, and you can even get that on, yes, a used RV. So again, check out the link for wholesale warranties down in the description and get a fast free quote. You could also be buying somebody's lemons, so beware of that. And that leads us to the next RV buying mistake. Number 8, not having an RV inspected, even a new one. Don't be too eager to drive off the lot. Have your new or used RV inspected by an independent RV expert or a repair person before driving it off the lot. Think about it. You are basically buying a small house. You wouldn't buy a house without an inspection, would you? It's basically required to get your mortgage. There are thousands of components in an RV that could go bad or not be working right. So hire an independent RV inspector or an expert to check it out. We'll put a link down below where you can hopefully find somebody in your area, and they're not necessarily too expensive. And number 9 is not doing a shakedown. That is not doing a proper test, traveling, and camping experience before your first fun trip. It's great when the RV dealer you purchase from has like an attached campground or at least partial hookups or full hookups. That way you can stay the night in their lot, spend a couple of days figuring everything out, all the different RV systems and how they work. Plus, since you're still at the RV dealer, if you find something that doesn't work, they can fix it before you drive it off the lot. Yes, many new RVs will have multiple items that need to be fixed right from the start. This is considered normal, so just expect it. But I still prefer actually taking a short trip, maybe 50 or 100 miles away. You can actually get your RV on the open road and see how it does. You get the feel for it. Also having to maybe negotiate into a smaller campsite somewhere, and don't plan this for like a fun camping trip again. It should just be you and your significant other. Maybe don't bring the kids, don't bring the pets. Bring your stack of manuals that come along for a weekend or a long weekend of learning and discovering. And the sooner you figure out if your RV has issues, the sooner you can get them handled at the dealer and be on the road to your first fun camping trip. Number 10 is not catching hidden or extra fees. Watch out for those gotcha extra fees from the RV dealer, especially during the financing process. It's like buying a new car or truck. You relax after you negotiate a great price only to be offered an extended warranty, exterior protection, financing with extra fees, etc. If you really want those extra items or protections, negotiate them during the deal of buying your RV. When Cherie and I were considering buying Brian's infamous RV, he had purchased several extended warranties, protections, and more, adding up to over $8,000 in fees. Yes, $8,000 on top of the purchasing price. Here's a tip. Get your financing done in advance. Get pre-qualified through Good Sam or USAA, and then walk into an RV dealer with confidence and not being worried about whether your loan's going to be approved or getting a loan with some kind of hidden fee. And RV mistake number 11 is not budgeting for repairs. Do you think your RV was expensive? Well, wait till you see the repair bills. Unless, of course, you got a great extended warranty, like from Wholesale Warranties, like we mentioned before. Repairs and maintenance are a thing, a big thing. And this has added up to thousands of out-of-pocket expenses that I never expected for on our first RV. From my experience, I've learned that you have to expect major and minor repairs. Think about it, owning an RV is like putting tires on your home or apartment and towing it down a bumpy road for thousands of miles. It's like a constant earthquake. One repair shop guy joked with me that RV stands for ruined vacation, and a boat, B-O-A-T, means bust out another $1,000. And all joking aside, I would budget $2,000 to $5,000 per year for repairs depending on the RV setup that you have. And that includes repairs on your tow vehicle. You can see a video that we made, we'll link to it below, of our 1 full year of RV living full-time expenses. And I think you might be surprised by how much they were. So you need to budget a significant amount of money for potential repairs. If you're lucky, you won't need to use all of it, and you can just spend that money on having more camping fun. And RV buying mistake number 12, not knowing the height of the RV that you purchased. Low bridges are everywhere. Yeah, you can just YouTube some of those videos of RVs having their air conditioning units shaved off under those low bridges. And that's why we use RV Life or RV Trip Wizard. RV Trip Wizard helps you to plan RV safe routes around low bridges and avoid situations like in some of those YouTube videos. You can also save 25% off your RV Life RV Trip Wizard membership by using our link down below. RV buying mistake number 13. We're getting there to the end, not replacing the RV tires right away. As some have said, the tires that come on your RV are just good enough to drive your RV off the lot and into a tire dealership for new tires. Learn from my mistakes about tires. We've got videos about that. We'll put links down below for those. Although there has been some improvements in the last few years, this is an area that manufacturers like to save money. Many RV tires installed on new RVs are just rated for a few £100 more than the actual weight of the RV itself. So when you get excited and load up for your first camping trip and put in thousands of pounds of gear, food, water, etc., you are immediately making your RV overweight, or at least overweight for your tires, possibly your RV as well. Plus, if the RV is used, the tires could look fine. You may have something else that's called dry rot. Be sure to check the date on the outside of the tires to see when they were manufactured and replace them if they are 3 to 5 years old. And a tip, if the tires are not adequate on the RV you're wanting to buy, you can negotiate that into the price with the dealer, or maybe get a little better price on the used RV that you're negotiating, maybe from a private seller. And yes, we made it. Mistake number 14, not getting the right RV insurance. This is huge. If you just add your RV to your vehicle policy, you may not get the coverage you need. We made this mistake, and when we got robbed years ago, we thought the contents were fully covered, and they were not. Make sure you purchase RV specific insurance from an agent like Miller Insurance Company. We'll put a link down below. They are an independent agency, and they will shop the best policy for your needs. Like if you're just going to be part-time, you want one kind of policy. If you are full-time, you want full-time RV insurance. This is a big topic, and we have a future video planned on the subject, so make sure you subscribe to our channel, and that way you'll get notified when we release that. Now it's time for you to chime in, or for our RV experts out there, what buying mistakes did I miss? Or what would you like to add to this list? Let us know by commenting down below or on our social media. So let me ask, Jose and Esther, did you learn anything from this video or podcast? Let us know. We also want to know what you pick out. We hope to see you here at the show, and that goes for all of you out there. Good luck buying your first or your next RV, whatever it is. Well, I think it's time for me to get out of here. It looks like people are starting to close up. This again is the 2022 Florida RV Super Show in Tampa. We hope you can make it out here to see all of the cool RVs and vendors out here. It's going to be a lot of fun. Or if you're in another part of the country, lots of other RV shows are going on out there. So wherever you are and whatever you're doing, remember to enjoy your journey. So long, guys. Enjoy!
On the stars.